I don't know this mindset that most Africans have that, let's say, if you're 24, 25, you should be married. Now, if you're married and you've not given birth, it's a problem. Now, if you give birth, okay, and you don't give birth to a male child, it's also a problem.
We got pregnant with our son after 2.5 years, and I can tell you that every single day of those 2.5 years, someone trolled me. Every day. I couldn't have an opinion without someone saying, go and born. I couldn't say anything without someone saying, get out, go and have a child. You are barren. You did something with your womb. You did. I heard also.
So last week, Banky W and Adesua, okay, well, Nigerian celebrities, one of Nigeria's finest celebrities, took to social media to talk about their experiences through childbirth and how they were able to overcome certain circumstances to get to where they're at. Yeah. And one striking thing that really stood out for me when she was talking was about trolls. So now she literally said stuff like, oh, whenever she wants to have a conversation, he will be like, oh, go and give birth. You know, you've not given birth. Why are you talking? Blah, blah, blah. And it really got me thinking now. Most Africans, I don't know this mindset that most Africans have that, let's say, if you're 24, 25, you should be married. Now, if you're married and you've not given birth, it's a problem. Now, if you give birth, okay, and you don't give birth to a male child, it's also a problem. And I really want to ask Mara this question. Mara, like, what's up with this whole mindset that most Africans have?
It has a very I don't even deep. Know where to start. It's a deep-rooted something. But let's not ignore the fact that we are actually gradually putting ourselves away from that route. Like it's not everyone who thinks like that anymore. I mean, before then, you could count maybe out of 100 people, 99 people who think it's a must to have a child. But now, out of 100, you can count like maybe two people who maybe think it's okay not to have a child, or 10 people who think it's okay not to have a child. At least now there is a bit of improvement. Okay, now the reason for this mindset, in Nigeria, not okay, I'm going to speak for Nigeria first of all. In Nigeria, when give birth to a male child, basically he has your blood, he has your generation, he has your name. Your name will be forever and ever and ever. It's kind of different how other cultures, especially some Asian societies, where when you get married, some of them carry their mother's name. Okay, it's not a must they carry their father's name over. Some of them actually carry their mother's name. So I think maybe it's the thing of wanting to continue the generation, wanting to continue their blood, they want their blood to keep growing and growing and growing. So I won't say if it's a good thing, but then at the same time, once you get to attach to that mindset, it becomes really dangerous. The fact that you think that when a woman can't give birth, she should be bashed. Some people, if your wife can't give birth, they find you another wife. Your stepmom will bring you that village girl and tell you, ah, yeah, boy, go to your room, go and do some work. Like it's like if you can't give birth, you are definitely a failure. And
Yeah.
that is not everything to life. Of course,
Mm-hmm.
children are beautiful. They are the greatest joy on earth to have. Once you have your child, you feel happy. But unfortunately, it's not everyone who are blessed to have that. Some actually are weak that when they give birth, they might end up dying in the process. Some are not strong enough to bear children.
Yeah, true.
Some don't even want these children.
Someone don't even want kids. Yeah.
Exactly. And I think the lady should be allowed to make their personal choice. Some want to get
Mm-hmm.
married without giving birth. Do you know how painful it is to actually give birth? And there are women who are
And
scared of that pain.
yeah.
They don't even want the cesarean section. They don't want to go through that pain. Like that pain literally scares them. And then you're
Yeah.
forcing her to give birth just for your selfishness. I think that's actually unfair to from Africans, from human beings, and from other women.
Yeah, I mean that's very true. Like I literally remember days back I was having a conversation with a friend. And we're just talking about this whole thing of, boys and girls, the way sometimes boys are more appreciated, in the African society, and how it still happens. Like literally in Nigeria, in some places in Nigeria, you need to have a boy child. It's like if you don't have a boy child, if something happens to your husband is dead or stuff like that, like, you don't get inheritance or whatever it is. And also when Adesua was speaking, and when she talked about the whole trolling thing, in my mind, I'm like, do these people literally really know that Adesua is also a human being? It's like the way people behave on social media, like, oh, okay, celebrities have this wall behind their back that, they can control things and stuff like that. So, Kanye, I'm going to ask you this basically. What do you think about when it comes to like trolling on social media to celebrities specifically?
I actually think because most celebrities, I'm saying most, not all, always give out this perfect depiction to the public. Like they always give out this positive and picture perfect image of their lives.
Yeah, true.
That is what people are expecting, like their lives to actually be. And it's just like, no, I mean, this is just because most people are not comfortable sharing the bad and the ugly in their life. Whereas you have some celebrities who are like raw and uncut. People like Cardi B. She literally goes on live, says whatever, does whatever, and it's like, look, I'll wake up in the morning and I'll talk to you. Yeah, like, and she has always been the one person who has never cared. You have people who have that kind of stomach. But you have people who are, like in general, even in real life, they are the kind of people that even in real life, people think their lives are perfect. Like Adesua to me seems like the kind of girl who even her circle, her friends, they probably think, oh my gosh, her life is so perfect. And like, she's just, you know what I'm saying? Whereas they don't know that, hey, like there are these parts of my life that are ugly. I don't want to share them with people, but when they come to light, that does not give you guys the right to persecute me as if y'all don't have
like,
any skeletons in your closets. You know what I'm saying? Like even the Bible said, let he without sin cast the first stone. So and I've noticed, especially like in regards to Adesua's situation, when it comes to females and infertility, like when it comes to women and infertility, there could be a lot of reasons why a woman doesn't have a child. It's not always because it's by choice. Sometimes you could find that the woman has had many miscarriages. Look at Gabrielle Union, for example. Sometimes you find that a woman has been trying secretly, privately to have a child, but
she just can't,
Yeah,
exactly.
But she doesn't choose to share that part of her life. Or you could find that maybe they found out that they cannot have kids at all. It's not even that they've had a miscarriage, like they cannot have. And and those are the kind of things you have to think about them before you just go online and say whatever. You have to think that obviously there could be other reasons. There could be like painful reasons. And even if it is by choice, it does not mean you have the right to still persecute them. The same way you had a choice to have a kid, let another woman have a choice not to have one. Like,
very true.
Okay, fine. You decided to have one. If somebody doesn't decide to have one, like what? Are you gonna force them? Relax.
Yeah.
You need to be coming down, first of all. Okay?
Guys, you need to calm down, okay?
But anyway, everybody dictating
to
you and your 1,000 followers what to do.
Adesua's issue was like she would like in the video, they would said they had to like literally remove her very and stuff like that. And I'm like, we just literally see these people online and we think all is fine, everything is okay, and you don't know how what you say can really affect somebody. I mean, like when I was asking Mary's question about the whole how Africans act when you don't give birth to a male child and stuff like that, or when you're not able to give birth, it's like a lot of women, okay, go into depression, and some of them even want to take their lives because they feel like, and the way the society has aligned these stuff in Africa is like, if you don't give birth, if you can't give birth, you feel like you have a problem. You feel like you feel like you failed in life. Okay, and we're living in the 21st century where that should not even be our mindset. You know what I'm saying? So that's just what it is basically. But anyways, guys, and also another thing what want to shed light on is the issue of Banky W and Adesua relationship now. I know they have their struggles, but when they were having conversations, I literally thought of how amazing these people are. I mean, you see how he's such a supportive husband. He said, "Oh, he's always been there for her, making sure that everything was fine." So I'm going to ask this question to Maria. Maria, what do you think women should look out for? When they are looking for their significant other,
His bank account.
right? Oh yeah.
No, 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 no.
That too.
But for a
Yeah,
fact that
true,
that's
true though.
that's very important, guys. Like check
Of
Very
his
course,
bank
true.
absolutely,
account.
but it's fact. That's very true. Yeah, his
Check for
bank
his bank
account.
account.
Okay.
And you should also have a big one. So you can't be expecting to have a
Yeah.
big bank account and you come and be carrying empty purse. It's
Oh
not
no.
possible.
Yeah.
Okay, but okay, let's be serious. What's from what I noticed a lot, right? Because I watched it and for honestly I was really touched. Okay. I loved he didn't portray himself as a perfect husband. He even said a time when
Yeah.
he I won't say he refused, but he failed to speak her language in terms of love language,
Yeah.
right? While hers was like, quality time, intimacy. His was just act of good service.
Service.
um
Yeah.
so they didn't really have the same love language. And me, I've always felt like if I'm to get married, I would definitely want to get my son who speaks the same love language. But seeing them,
Hmm.
um I think it's not exactly I won't say it's not important, but it's not exactly the key to the successful marriage. The key to
Yeah.
the
True.
successful marriage, which I noted from them, was understanding and slow progress. Why did I say slow progress? Because things cannot grow that fast between a man and a woman. I mean, from being single to sharing your personal space with someone on an
Yeah.
intimate level, not like brothers and sisters kind of sharing space, no, on an intimate level, where as you're taking the dump, he's there brushing teeth and gisting you about his co-workers.
Girl, bye.
Like on an intimate level, I think because there's this post I also saw where they said being in a relationship means being comfortable being naked, and not just physically, emotionally, spiritually.
Yeah.
And talking about spiritually, it's very important you marry someone on the same
Yeah.
spiritual inclination as you. I mean, if you are a believer and you're marrying a non-believer, you fully well know he's a non-believer and you're marrying him. And then maybe when it's time for prayers, you call him and he's like, I beg you, I want to watch Chelsea and Man U. Man U is going to whoop Chelsea today. I want to, like, you will get frustrated and then you get angry and then you go and start complaining. My husband doesn't want to pray. I mean, you married a non-believer. What were you expecting? You married a
Fact.
non, like, what were you expecting? Like, if you want, if you're the kind of person who wants that kind of growth spiritually, I think you should go with someone who's on the same inclination. Or if you feel you need
Yeah.
somebody higher than you, then go for that, girl. Go
Yeah.
for that. Even boy, you can go for
Very
that,
true.
not just girls. And another
Yeah.
thing that I would just quickly take note of is the fact that he knows that he tried to help her, especially during that pregnancy period, and there was a part where he didn't know how to help her. And take note,
Mm-hmm.
I love what he said, because
Yeah.
men feel, and men, please don't feel that way anymore. Men feel like they should be
They're so
stronger.
strong. They are the shield.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they feel
True.
like they should be so strong. Of course, you should be strong, but it's okay to be weak. That's what I say relationships are for. Relationships are is a partnership. Your weakness can be shown. You guys should be like a puzzle. You should fit each other. Okay? Where she's weak, you are strong. Where you're strong, she is weak. Like when he was weak, he didn't know what to do. He didn't even know what to say. He couldn't even think of one thing to do. Even his act of service love didn't even come to mind of what to do. And it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay,
Mm-hmm.
because I think that's what makes marriage beautiful. When you're not
Yeah, that's what make it
perfect.
work.
When you're
Yeah.
not perfect and you try to make it work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, speaking of that, basically, yeah, that whole thing of spiritual, like, understanding, like, for instance, like you're a Christian, get married to someone with the same religious beliefs that you, the same religious understanding as is very interesting and it's very needful. Because I mean, imagine now if he didn't have that understanding to the word of God. And people like that, when your wife cannot do this, you be like, oh, I got married to you, like, look at what's happening, like, I cannot deal anymore. And then you want to go out and have extramarital affairs and stuff like that, but he stood by her. And that's like a really interesting thing. So anyways, guys, that's all we're gonna say concerning Banky W and Adesua issue. All I'm gonna say is Nigerians, please Africans, you guys should learn to mind your business and learn to be
calming
nice.
down.
Okay, be calming down. Okay, be calming down. Anyways, thank you guys so much. Make sure you don't forget to like, share,
subscribe,
and subscribe. Bye.
See ya.
Bye.